Hi there. Welcome to Cooking with Pouncy. Tonight I'm going to prepare some pan-seared salmon that I have here. I've already washed and ready for the pan. Okay, that's Norwegian salmon, which is where it says it came from. I'm also going to do some oven roasted asparagus spears. Okay, I've already washed these as well, and I washed them for quite a while because of the. If you don't wash asparagus, I'm sure most of you know, they can be very sandy, and the worst thing in the world you can do is chomp down on an asparagus and you got sand in your mouth as well. So these were washed very thoroughly. A great portion of the tail end of them, and I'll show you that later too, was cut off because that part is woody, very woody. You can't even chew it. I've got here some potatoes that's called steakhouse roasters, and some of you are certainly familiar with those as well. Little cute potatoes. I like them when they're all different colors. It's amazing, isn't it? But anyway, these are very good. And I'm going to be roasting these in the oven with some seasoning, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a second here too. Okay, I've preheated my oven to 425, and that's going to be the same application for the asparagus as well. I'm going to cook these potatoes for about 25 minutes in the oven, and the last 10 minutes of that cooking process with the potatoes, I'm going to put my asparagus in for the last 10 minutes of that process. I want to cook these things until they're al dente. Still got a little snap to them, never soggy for any vegetables. So I'm going to prepare these right now. I'm just going to cut them in half lengthwise, each one of them. And I'm put them on my pan here. This is a aluminum foil lined half baking sheet. And I'm going to put these little guys on. So that's how I'm going to do those. I'll get that out of here. And then I'm going to season them. I'm going to season them. First I'll put a little olive oil on them so that the seasoning will actually stick as well. Give a little flavor. Not too much. That's about a teaspoonful of olive oil, maybe a little more. So I'm going to kind of mix it. I think I'll put my seasoning on here. What I've got here is some Meat Magic seasoning for flavor. Not too much. If you can see what I'm doing, you can see it. I'll toss them just a little bit to make sure that oil gets them coated with oil. And then I'll start sprinkling my seasoning on them. And I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit of this on there. I've used it before, so I know about how much to put on. I'm thinking that's about a teaspoon and a half maybe, okay? All right, I got that on there. And I'm going to put a little pepper on there too. Last time I made these, I put a little rosemary in them too. So you can put anything you want to put on them actually. So again, I'm just making sure that each one of them is coated, even that little guy right there. And I'm going to spread them out. Don't stack them on top of each other. Just kind of spread them out on your pan. So these are ready to go in the oven. Okay, so these are going to go in the center rack at 425. That's really hot. And we're going to forget about those for about 25 minutes. Okay, now that we've got our potatoes in the oven at 425 and shooting for that 25-minute mark of getting them ready, we'll do our asparagus. So asparagus, as I indicated earlier, are already cut and trimmed and all that stuff. And here's what I did. And I mentioned that I cut the ends off, and I cut quite a bit off, if you can see here. You see this? This is the whole one here. And of course, these are the ones that I just trimmed the bottoms off of seasoning. But this is a pretty simple one, and I'll just pour a little bit of olive oil in here. And that's probably a teaspoon and a half, okay? And to that, I will now add my asparagus. And I put the oil in there first, obviously, so that I can put my asparagus in there. And just kind of roll them around and get that oil on each one of them. Get it on each one of them, so when I put my seasoning on them, it will stick to them. And that's what I'm doing here. Just make sure I get each one of them coated. Like that. Now they're all coated with olive oil. That's about a teaspoon and a half of olive oil. And I'll spread them out as much as I can in this dish. I could have gotten a larger dish, but they aren't stacked too high. There's 1, 2, 3 or so on top of the other one, but that's not a big deal. So then I'm going to put my flavorings on there. I'm going to put a little bit of stuff on, like anything, like basic seasoning. Here's a little black pepper, for example. I'm going to put a little black pepper on them. A little bit, not too much. And then I'm going to put some sea salt on them. Again, not too much. Not too much. A little sea salt. I can make it come out. It's coming out now. And it's going to kind of lay on the top of them, and it's hitting pretty much all of them as well. It's hitting all of them as well. And then I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese on it. A little Parmesan cheese, grated. So I'll put a little Parmesan cheese on top of them. I hope you can see that. I'm just sprinkling some on, and it's getting on each one of them. And I won't flip these. You know, in other words, I won't grab them instead to mix everything up, because once these things get hot, all of what I'm putting on them now is going to, along with the moisture that they're going to create themselves, is going to kind of go down in between each one of them. Okay, so we won't be playing around with them too much. I don't like touching them too much once I get them seasoned real well. Okay, so that's about all I'm going to put. I'll put a little bit more on the flouring end of it. Meat Magic. Meat Magic is some cool stuff. If you haven't tried it, you got to try it. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of Meat Magic on it. A little bit of Meat Magic on it. Just a little dusting of it, okay? Oh my goodness, this is going to be so good. It smells good right now. All right, and as I indicated earlier too, these are going to go in about the last 10 minutes of the potato cooking process, okay? Because it'll only take me about 10 minutes to get this these asparagus done. But don't they look good already? You can see that? Okay. All right, so let me, what I'll do here with the garlic, and I almost forgot this, because I'm gonna put some garlic in my butter seasoning for my fish, my salmon as well. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of garlic, excuse me, here, and I'm gonna sprinkle crushed garlic, and I'm gonna just kind of sprinkle it on here, on here, not too much, just a little bit. There you are. Okay, there you have it. And that's going to be ready, like I said, to go in the oven. These are going to be great. Don't overcook them, we'll eat it. Be me, Pouncy. Thank you. Okay, we're going to season our salmon. And I think I'll use, obviously I'm going to put a little olive oil on it to coat it so that the seasoning will stick on it. And we'll do that now. Just a little bit, just a dab. Just a dab again. Okay. And then we're going to coat this. All right. Okay. Do that. I get very proficient at that. I didn't touch it with my lips, guys. Just peeled it off. So then I'm going to put, as I indicated, I'm going to put a little pepper on here. Pepper. When I'm buying seasoning for example, this seasoning here, in any application, I should say, I always make sure I watch the ingredient list listed in the ingredient list. This one is, the first ingredient is sugar. I don't typically buy those, all right? And I don't buy them because I don't want it sweet before anything else happens, and that's what happens if you're going to buy with the first ingredient being sugar. First ingredient, I think, in this one, in the meat seasoning thing, I'll pull it up for you. In the meat seasoning thing, I'm just lightly seasoning this. I'm actually going to turn it on its side a little bit so I can get some on the side as well, on both sides. I hope you guys can see that. I don't know what that was. It came out of a salt box, a chunk of salt here. And so I do it so that it'll get on each side there. And there's another part of the cooking process that you're going to see, as I indicated. I'm going to take that skin off as well. And it comes right off once it starts cooking. Okay, I need some pepper on this one. And again, I don't use that one because of the sugar content. The first ingredient in this one, the meat seasoning, I won't put that on. I could, is salt. So you can use it in moderation, certainly. I can't do the sugar deal because you can't take the sugar out, okay? So these are actually ready to go in. They got a little coating of oil on them. I'm going to put a little olive oil as well in my pan to start them. And hopefully you can see this. Not too much. That's about a tablespoon, okay? And so that'll get hot, and then I'll actually make that pan pretty hot because I want to sear this. I'm going to probably cook this salmon a total of 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes on both sides, all right? So I'll be using my lemon here to make just a little bit of lemon garlic salt sauce, if you will, for the top of the fish as I plate it. Okay guys, we're going to put our asparagus in, and as you see, they're already ready to go in the oven with the Parmesan cheese and all that stuff. So I'm going to set those in the center rack right next to the potatoes, and we're going to time those for about 12 minutes. They should be ready. In the meantime, we're going to put our salmon on in the pan. It's now hot. It's nice and hot. We're going to sear that salmon, and we're going to do that now. I'll take my little handy dandy cutting board over here. We're going to take our fillets, and I'm kind of rubbing it into oil so that they will get coated with oil. I'll kick this up a little bit to high. I just did. And we're going to do this. And I'm not going to cover this now. I'm just going to let it cook. Skin side up. I can hear the salmon starting to simmer. You can see that maybe. Skin side up. On high. If you don't want to overcook it, and that's a big, huge deal. Lots of people overcook their seafood. It doesn't take that much to cook seafood. So anyway, I want to kind of sneak a peek at this and see what's happening on the other side over here. That's starting to cook up really nice. It's starting to cook up really nice. Let me see if I can hold it up for you. I don't know if you saw that or not, but yeah, it's starting to cook up really nice. I think I'm going to put a cover on this too, just for the heck of it. One of those pieces is pretty thick. So I'm going to put a cover on it, but I'll tilt it because we don't want that water dripping into there. Okay, so. That's good. Let's see what that looks like. Hopefully it won't break. Hope you can see that. Looking good. Turn it over. The skin side down now. And I think I'm going to take a peek at my potatoes because, like I said, some of them are smaller than others. Make sure I won't overcook those. Take a gander at them. I'm going to pull those out because I don't want them to get soggy. Asparagus are looking good. Potatoes are actually ready. They're ready. They're beautiful. Let's take a gander at those if you can see them. They're beautiful. And they're nice and tender. I don't want them soggy either. Let's call them el dente, if you will. That one goes face down, and that's why that's beautiful though. Okay? All right, so, and actually, once they come out of the oven, which they just did, as you just saw, they actually continue to cook a little bit as well, okay? And so that's why you want to make sure you take them out at a point in time where you're not going to have a soggy, mushy potato. It's still going to have a little bit of a tug to the bite, okay? Okay, guys, I'm going to attempt to peel that skin off. Okay, I'm peeling that skin off, guys. And as I peel the skin off, because I peeled the skin off, I'm going to put a little bit more seasoning in that area where the skin came from because there was no seasoning there, as you know. Couldn't season underneath the skin. I'm just taking my spatula and just pour it right underneath that skin, and you can see here, and just peel it right off, okay? It comes right off. So then I'll take, these are actually done. I'm going to shut my burner off here, and I'm going to put a little bit of seasoning on that fish on that side. A little bit on that side. I'm going to roll that back over to that side and get a little sear on it. And that's how I finish it. Now the burner's off, like I said, and it'll just sit there and it'll be done in just a jiffy. Potatoes are still nice and hot. And look at them themselves, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. Nice and green still. Little sizzling down at the bottom there, if you can see it. These are perfect. I'm going to turn the oven on. And as I do that, as I indicated, I'm going to put our plates in the oven. This is just to feel some of that heat. And I'm about ready to plate these. These are ready, nice and hot. These are nice and hot. Take my asparagus out. I shut my oven off already. Asparagus out. That turned out beautifully. You see that? Turned out beautifully. Nice crust on top. Both of them the same way. Both of them are the same way. Beautiful. And I'm going to take my lemon here. But I've got some drippings, if you know, here in the pan that came from the fish. You can't really see it, but there's some oil in there that came from the fish. And all the stuff is breaking out. So I'm going to cut my lemon. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to squeeze a little of this. All I'm doing is flavoring that oil that was in there. I think I put a little dill in there too. I'm going to sprinkle just a little dill in there. Just a little dill in there. A little more flavor. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic in there. So I've got some lemon, some dill, and a little garlic. A little bit of garlic in there as well. That pan is still sizzling. Just going to spoon a little bit over the top of the fish here. Garlic smells good. Okay. And then put some potatoes on there. These are really good, guys. I don't know that you've ever had them, but they are really, really good. So good. Very tender. Okay. And the asparagus, like I said, they're very nice. Al dente, still nice and green. They're not limp. They'll have a little bit of a snap to them, which is good. Which is very good. Does that look good? I hope you guys can see that. I'll hold one of them up here in a second for you. We love asparagus. We're about ready for supper. So, let me show you a plate here. This is beautiful. This is just beautiful. Okay? That's the finished product. Mama and I, that'd be my wife, are going to have supper. And again, I took the skin off the fish. I made a little bit of lemon sauce with the fat that was left in the pan. And again, I took the skin off, I said that already. But I also seasoned it a little bit more on that side that I pulled the skin off from. That gives it a little bit of extra flavor. But we're ready to eat supper. I'm going to cut a little piece of lemon here for the plate. I don't care. I don't need lemon myself, but my wife loves to squeeze some lemon on hers, and so I'll just do that for her. I usually cut them lengthwise too, but I use that lemon. I use some of it, as you saw, for the sauce. So there you have it. I'll put a piece right here. It's for her, and then that's it. We're done. We're going to enjoy this, and I certainly hope that when you make this, if you do, for your family that you will enjoy it as much as we're going to enjoy it as well. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Cooking with Pouncy, and we'll see you next time.